Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our final match of the day here live from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. I'm Semler, with me is Hanks, and we're going to be casting the action.
Los Angeles Gladiators, Hangzhou Spark. The winner locks in top 6.
That's the thing.
You don't want to be in 7 through 12. It's very volatile down there. There's a lot of teams that could upset a team, so you want to get in that 6. Make sure you're set in there. Winner of this one locks in their top 6 spot. And those are, they're still up for grabs amongst a couple teams, could still get in that top 6. Of course, they've secured playoff spots, but you really want to stay out of 7 through 12. Do you really want to play the Charge in the first round, or the Dragons, or the Hunters, or the Rain? Answer, no. No, you don't. You want to get it right into that top 6.
You want to just go ahead and skate and give more time to prep, but now we're going to not waste any time at all. We took a look at that graphic. Awesome beans. We just saw it before, but it turns out that they're going after each other. They're the two teams with everything on the line here. Let's bring our first team out onto the stage. Los Angeles Gladiators.
Gladiator, gladiator, gladiator. To fight with the gods, I'm the giant slayer.
Home field advantage, as always, here at the Blizzard Arena in lovely Los Angeles. Nice to see Shaz without the hat. Beautiful head of hair. Why would you hide it under a hat? Right there. It looks like a fresh cut on display. But those are your damage dealers walking out first. It is going to be Decay and Shorefort. A lot on the line for those guys because we are pretty much in a damage meta. Everyone else needs to do their job and they can step up pretty big in a lot of situations, but all eyes on Decay and Shorefort very likely going forward on this map.
Yeah, mine definitely will be. I think everybody else as well, because this has been the damage meta, and we're going to get to see them go up against some of the best in the business. Let's get their opponents out onto the stage, the Hangzhou Spark.
I think you better bow down. Oh yeah, I got a check, I got respect, and all I'm missing is the power.
This is a Spark team that just came off a rather dominant win against the Dallas Fuel. The Gladiators struggled a little bit with the Fuel, requiring a reverse sweep to pull that back, if that's any indication on where either of these teams are. But I think you can throw some of those results out the window. And as much as I talk about the damage dealers, you've got Godsby and Adora on this side. However, a guy I do want to keep an eye on is Baby. He puts out ridiculous numbers on the Zenyatta. It has gotten better every week. He's increased his offensive output. He leads all Zenyatas in final blows per 10, and he's only behind Jonak in damage per 10. So you talk about bloodthirsty supports. I think I know a guy who says that on occasion.
Big fans of those.
You can talk about Bebe.
Now let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, we have the supports. That's the matchup that we're going to be keeping an eye on, as well as the damage dealers. And Shorefort and Godsby, two of the best in the business as far as damage goes. And yeah, we're going to see more of the Hanzos, more of the Widows, more of the Snipers, and more of the fun.
Hanzo, Widow, May, but we're going to take a look at Hanzo's here. It is Shorefort versus Godsby. There was a ridiculous statistic that our stat guy extraordinaire brought up. The Gladiators win 92% of their team fights if Shorefort gets the first kill on a Hanzo. That is an amazing stat. So if he gets the first kill on a Hanzo, they pretty much win the fight every single time.
Is this the one time you played Hanzo?
Maybe.
Like, what did he says? How did he get 95%? He played Hanzo once, and he got the
I don't
kill
know.
once.
I don't have the brain to hold numbers in my head. That's why we pay other people to do it. I sometimes just talk a lot. We do have our map set presented by Toyota. This is going to be interesting. Do we have Hanzo maps? Do we have Widow maps? A little bit of both here, actually.
Yeah, presented by Toyota. Busan is going to be our control map to kick things off, so we'll get a bit of chaos just to shake things up before we get into the more standard, regular, structured style of play.
I'm going to kick it off here on Mecha Base. This has been a Widow playground before, but right now both teams are queued up on what is essentially the most common and standard meta game here. A Reaper and a Mei on both sides. An identical mirror match for both squads, so down to execution on this one.
And we got the chance coming up in now from Los Angeles Gladiators fans. Spark side, perhaps a little bit more quiet. But already straight into the action as the Gladiators and the Spark both running shotguns and both looking to break shields. Godsby up close, looking for some shots. Not quite gonna find it, gets forced back, and it's just ball-on-ball action right now.
Yeah, this is why we call it meta goats, because both teams running kind of the exact same thing, and this is a composition where you want to smash faces into each other. Shorefort doing the face smashing early on as he grabs Adora. He'll also grab Gushua, and that should just be about it. You can't really fight this one without your Mei, especially without your main tank, and the Gladiators will take first control. Void takes out his opposing number as he chases down Rhea. Gladiators open it up on Mecha Base. And also, the big difference I see here is that since Adora died early, Decay already sitting on a Blizzard on the other side of things.
Exactly.
It's a huge
difference
advantage.
is we've seen these kinds of combos in terms of the Blossom, in terms of the Blizzard. The Blizzard, the real game changer. Surefour, though, he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder right now. He's trying to prove to the world that he can be aggressive, that he can take control, that he can dominate on that damage roll.
What
He's
fool
taking it
would
personally.
say otherwise?
He's taking it personally, though. You know? So it's like, here, man. Time to prove yourself, Surefour. Let's get into the mix. You're gonna get frozen.
Gosby got the goose early, but now both Gosby and Goucheway fall again. And now you have to question if the Spark really want to come back in and fight this 4v4. It appears not. It appears it's a full-on retreat. And the Gladiators end up still keeping control, only using the Blizzard in that last fight.
And Shaz will have that coalescence, lickety-split, no doubt there. Looking at Adora right now to try and get that Blizzard going. He's going to be the main difference maker here, seeing as how Decay has used his. Should be freeze drained. Exactly, Adora, as soon as he gets it, no time wasted. Great, straight in, Surefour with the Blossom. Throwing things a little out of whack. Both of the bongos have been punctured. They're out of the fight. Now we're getting into the walls as well. Void with the self-destruct in the open. Adora, though, doesn't even matter. He's going to go boom. Big kills coming in on the other side, though. Bebe and Rhea find 2, so the Gladiators under pressure.
Well, the Spark have to commit to this fight, but they've lost Gosby early yet again. That's a big source of damage. It is 4v4 on the point in this brawl. Tanks and supports out here for the Spark. I don't know if they have the throughput to actually kill anything.
Yeah, it's nice, though. Yeah, exactly. They're all kind of just staring at each other. Where have we seen this before, Hex? Seems very familiar. Decay with Blizzards thrown on in. Doing a decent job of forcing the Spark back. They nearly flipped it, Hex. They were so close, but in the end, it's the Gladiators holding on to it. Now, the Spark have to get on the payload to touch. They do just that, barely.
Blossom and a Prayer doesn't end up finding anything, and still the Spark have to commit to this coalescence out. You'll likely see Supercharger drop immediately. They do just that. But so far, the Spark haven't been able to find kills. Void grabs another. That's his 3rd final blow.
Yeah, this is getting a bit out of hand now. But the Gladiators are so scrappy, they refuse to give in. The sound barrier thrown in by the Goose, but IDK is going to come in, but not before Adora goes down. Goucheway follows on the side of the Spark. That's Godspeed dead, and that's the Los Angeles Gladiators. They got to get it now. Should be a 1 fight, and they will pick up the first point on Busan.
Some early deaths from both Godsby and Adora cost them several of those fights. You need them alive. You need them working in concert. You can freeze people as May, but the firing rate on her secondary fire is low, so you'd rather have your Reaper up there chunking through people. Unable to get it done because of some early deaths from the damage dealers on the Spark. And Void actually led his team in final blows. He was hunting people down. Not a guy we talk about a whole lot on the Gladiators. No. I mean, it's that diva role sometimes where you just kind of go unnoticed because that means you're doing your job for the most part, you're not making mistakes, but he was able to hunt down some of the damage dealers for the Spark. Now the Gladiators look to come out, rip roaring, and take the first map here.
Yeah, it's the Spark right now. We're trying to find ways to get kills. So we will see now, how's it going to manage out? It's Surefour on the Widow, and it's Godsby on the Widow. Yesterday, we saw Godsby do quite a bit of good work on the Sniper. He was confident, he was taking duels, and he was pretty much dominating.
Surefour, our 2018 Overwatch League All-Star Game Widow 1v1 champion, though. I think that surprised a few people, given all the talent we have on Widow, but Surefour was the one to come out on top.
Oh, there we go. Nice trade. Tip for tat on the supports. You lose Bebe, though, but Shaz being gone really hurts the Los Angeles Gladiators offense, means they don't get that many heals. And so Hangzhou, there's a good chance now for them to push in, try to capitalize on that, especially with Surefour out of the picture. Now Godsby, he gets to run amok here. There's nothing really the Gladiators can hope to do unless they can just try and get some kills, but it's not happening. Roar, dead, Decay, gone, and that's the Gladiators sent back to spawn.
Well, that's Godsby with 3 final blows in a row right there, and the pink arrow means headshot. That's exactly what you want to see from your Widow, means all the burst damage comes out. And I mean, there's gotta be a kind of fear factor when you play the Spark now, because Godsby's performances on Widow have been transcendent lately. They're gonna hold first point here. Godsby with the Infrasight can pop it whenever he likes if he wants to get a beat on Surefour.
Yeah, he's been looking fantastic. But this is what I'm looking forward to in Stage 4 with the 2-2-2 change. You have to get the damage in there, and you have to have some Widows. It seems like those are the best performing comps when you have confident Widow players. Name of the game when you're going into these sniper duels, confidence. You gotta know you're gonna hit that headshot. So Godsby right now, he's had nothing so far to tell him otherwise. Surefour keeping it a little quiet on that side. And Rhea, in the meantime, will find Decay. So Surefour's got to step up and start doing some damage. If he's not going to just shut down Godspeed, he's got to start finding kills. And this is what Godspeed is all about right now. He's like, well, I don't need to duel you, Surefour. If you're not going to come for me, I'm just going to kill the rest of your team.
Yeah, Godspeed was not even looking at Surefour for a while, and yeah, that'll show up on a highlight reel, but it's not really going to matter. Surefour's got to run for his life. Hooked back into oblivion. Rhea takes him down 60% and counting up for the Spark. And look at this. They've had to use no ultimates at all. They have everything aside from Infrasight.
Yeah, that's bonkers. And then it's Godspeed who's running back, but he can take fights from anywhere in the back line, so it's not even as if it's crucial that he gets onto the point to, whoa, halt on halt action there.
Very close to a max range hook. Surefour is the one who pops Infrasight now, so Godspeed's got to play a little more passively. He's going to rotate around and try to just do some damage on the tanks, but at a certain point, LA's got to go fight.
Yeah, they got to get in there.
They're backing off because of the supercharger, which is fine. But this is the final offensive chance for the Gladiators.
So good about just using their ults to buy time. Infrasight was one, and then you get the supercharger, and now you're going to have the whole hog thrown in by Rhea. Actually, many of the ults getting used here on the side of the Spark, so now it is that win or die sort of situation, and the Gladiators are going to do a whole lot of dying.
Yeah, get busy living or get busy dying. The Gladiators choose the latter. And a completely one-sided second round of Busan, thanks largely in part to Godspeed there. 8 final blows, now his total tally.
Well, that's important for the Spark here. They need to, this is kind of home turf. You got quite a bit of purple there in the fans. You got to quiet them down. Can't let those guys give energy to the Los Angeles Gladiators. Can't let them cheer at all. No, you got to turn this place into a library. That's what the Spark are doing.
I do see about 3 or 4 Spark fans out there, so they're not completely one-sided here.
There's one.
Yeah, got a couple in the front row. There you go.
Not him. He's wearing a Gladiators jersey. I see you
jersey.
with the Gladiators jersey, buddy.
Get out of here.
That doesn't count.
Come on. Pick a side.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Back with the purple. All right. Well, it is tied up 1-1.
All right, he's got both jerseys.
Okay, he's got both jerseys. He's got a Goose Ray jersey.
Super fan. Both teams running the similar compositions again. The DPS, heavy sustain, heavy damage, smashing faces against each other.
Yeah, just shotguns. I mean, this is so much like goats. It's bonkers. Let's run into each other, do some damage.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to break a play style after so long in the 3-3 meta. They're like, oh, you have to do damage. Okay, what are the most tankiest self-sustained damage that we have? Let's throw them in there.
With the most utility, i.e. Maywalls, i.e. that happens and somebody dies. You get cut off from the rest of the team, no way to help you. IDK, the first to fall here for the Hangzhou Spark, who don't really seem to be as comfortable when it comes to the Reaper May sort of style. It's almost, I mean, on this point, I almost want to see Godspeed just go for the Widow.
It's where they struggled a little bit yesterday, too, but they're going to come back into this. They do lose their main tank, still trying to scrap it out on the point, but they will give up first control. Question is, do they want to commit to this? Now you can't.
Now they're done.
Both tanks out of it. Time to
Out.
reset.
Does Godspeed change, though? Do we just get a switch?
I think he stays on it for this one life. You do a Blizzard, you do a Death Blossom, and that you hope you get something out of it. And then maybe in desperation you can switch off. You'd much rather be on the Widow when you have control of the map and you can just kind of poke down the dead center alley or look left, and you don't really want to have to try to take control with the Widow.
Stop making so much sense, Hex. I'm speaking from the heart here. I just want to see some Widow. I want to see Godspeed on the Widow.
As do I, but right now they're going to use ultimates at least before they use this. It's going to be all about execution here. A whole lot of check marks in purple on the left-hand side of your screen, although High Ground immediately ceded to the Spark.
Oh, that was so clever. The wall goes down, locks him out, forces the Gladiators up into the air. There's the sound barrier. Surefour knocked out of position on the other side of the wall, not doing as much damage as he would have liked, but Gushue still getting caught in the door as well.
Yeah.
And the Gladiators will hold, despite what looked like a little bit of a rocky start there.
Yeah, Bebe was a day late and $1 short on that Coalescence. Gushue fell right before that Coalescence, able to kick in and keep him alive. They will save a few ultimates on the side of the Spark. Meanwhile, the Gladiators invested their entire ultimate bank into that fight. Almost single digits on the side of their ultimate. So on paper, this is a fight that you would expect the Spark to be able to flip back, to even open with barrier. You have a lot of options to open here. Got to be careful with Surefour. He's lurking above.
Yeah, decent positioning here from Surefour. And eventually, he's looking for a pick. If he can get into a squishy, or if he can remove one of these tanks, that'd be baller.
They open a barrier. They open a barrier, just push right in.
Godspeed doesn't even need the Blossom when he's supercharged like that. He's doing so much damage up close. No way for them to survive, and he's even going to hold on to the ult. The Hangzhou Spark just walk their way onto the point.
Blossom's one of those things that I almost think of as Barrage sometimes.
Or
where-
tank mode for Bastion.
Yeah, where you'd rather just stay in your normal mode, and that way you can pick targets quicker. You still have the utility to be able to use your other abilities.
Yeah.
But Blossom just locks you into this animation where you're slow and you can be negated and you can be shot very easily. So I think it's smart to not use it there. It's not the greatest ultimate unless you have really good setup.
Ooh, high ground. And he's gonna he potentially has to set up here. Could just drop right down on him.
Oh, they should be able to see this.
Yeah, they checked it.
Yeah.
Void. Can't pull the wool over Bolden's eyes, man. He's too
Short forward very
sharp.
low though. Taking a lot of damage.
Long range TP all the way in. Gathered up. An attempt there with the Hulk. That could have been tasty here for the Blossom. Instead, just Coalescence on Coalescence. Crossing the beams. They don't care. And we're at 40% on the board now for the Spark.
Gladiators are nearing the Blizzard. They're nearing a lot of ultimates here. It's been a long, sustained, drawn-out fight. They've been able to equalize in the ultimate economy. Barrier starts it off for the Gladiators.
Sound barrier over the top. Blizzard here on the low ground. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. There was a self-destruct thrown into it. Doesn't get any value, but now it's Godspeed coming into his own. And Void, he eats it. Eats the Blizzard, but Godspeed still gets the kill.
They're gonna get Gushue. This one's not over yet, but it does force the Spark to commit the sound barrier into this one.
You got 2 running back for the Gladiators right now. There are 4 alive on the point. You gotta get some kills because it's pretty soon you're gonna have Roar back in here. He's got the bongos ready to go. If he drops that, that's gonna be a problem here for the Spark. And yep, now there's the damage boost, and instantly bodies start dropping for the Spark. The Gladiators, they held their own, Hex.
A very patient push, waiting for things to come back online, sustaining until they had the numbers advantage from the reinforcements, and the Gladiators will take our 3rd round of Busan, and thus our first map of Busan.
Scrappy fight here between both of these teams. What looked like a dominant performance for Hangzhou in the second map. Results in the Gladiators taking the first map of the series.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. In a battle of top Overwatch League teams, the Vancouver Titans were trying to steal the 3rd map of the series, Hollywood, against the London Spitfire. Haxel charged up Genji's ult, but just as he used it, the Spitfire's resident Roadhog, Fury, hooked him into Prophet's waiting Blizzard, ensuring they would retain control of the point.
And the cat's pajamas narrating that for us. Good man, and that was the Assist of the Week. their Hex. But more importantly, that's the Los Angeles Gladiators taking the lead in the series. They took the first map on Busan. It was scrappy, but they got the job done.
Very close between the two teams because the second point was all Hangzhou based on Godspeed Widow. And so I think the question is going forward, I think that the Spark definitely have the advantage right now at least. And Widow's all about peaks and valleys, who's hot, who's has his confidence right now. But Godspeed has all the confidence in the world after yesterday's Junkertown performance in which he dominated and showed the world what a good Widow he can be. So they won the map in which they let Godspeed play as much Widow as possible. I don't know if his Reaper is quite on par, but also I think Shanghai, or excuse me, the Los Angeles Gladiators simply used their ultimates a little bit better. They were patient in a lot of those fights and they knew how the economy worked. So they're gonna take our first map 2-1, but it was as close as it gets. Again, winner of this series locks in top 6 in the Overwatch League 2019 season going into the playoffs, which is important because then you don't have to play in the play-in tournament in which anything can happen. Gladiators with a much better record here, 5-2-1. The Spark a meager 1-6 on Temple of Anubis.
We've seen crazy carry potential on this map before, though. Anybody can pop off. It's just
Possible.
bananas.
Adora's run some Genji on this map before as well. Maybe on their offense, we'll see it. Right now, the Gladiators seem to be the ones wanting to run a Genji and Sombra, but anything could change. They're still in spawn.
I kind of like this, though. Just give Godspeed the autonomous roles. Just let him go off and do his own thing. Play as a 5, play as a group of 5 at the door there to watch out for the tanks and the supports. But Godspeed, if he gets the proper support from the rest of the teams, that's what he's capable of. Boom, headshot.
That's not a Genji, too. That's not like a big hitbox character. Genji's got all the mobility in the world. He's double jumping. He's doing crazy cyber ninja stuff. And, I guess you can have all the cybernetics in the world, and sometimes an arrow to the dome still works.
Yeah, it gets through that circuitry, man.
The medieval
like,
tech.
you ever take a hammer to like a motherboard? It's just the same thing. Boom, arrow through the motherboard. Nothing's gonna work.
Tragically, I have.
Yeah, we all have been there. We have all been there.
Well, Decay in a little bit of trouble right now, too. He's getting frozen. Nice peel from his team, though, and now it's Adora who's in trouble. He was going for the aggressive play onto Decay, and Decay's team comes in and helps him out. They bring a Lucio over there, and they get that kill.
What are you doing, Adora? You just threw the defense. Rest of the team, that's a painful one. If you're going to lose this on the defense now, if they do not stabilize, Adora is not really going to be holding his head too high. Roar just stomping him into the ground.
Shaz with a giant anti-heal. Godspeed is doing his best. He gets a couple here early on. Adora will be back here on time to hopefully try to play a hero role, a little bit of redemption maybe.
Possibly. Oh, Nano goes on to the Winston though. That's going to keep him up a little while longer. That's Roar. And now he can actually do some damage. He's not just tickling people. And eventually, with the help of Big Goose, they will find the kill on Rhea. And this is just going to be the one after the other sort of scenario here for the Spark. Don't even really want to see Bebe run in here. Just back off.
To get back. I mean, both of the supports now back into this, but it's going to be too little too late. Stomped into the ground by Roar.
Roar already had the primal though, so
yeah.
It's fine, and he didn't even need to use it there. He gets the nano, he gets up to primal. Now he's going to have primal for the second point. He's going to be able to throw himself into the back line there.
They would love for Decay to have his blade here, but it's not going to be the case. I wonder if they wait or if they throw in the EMP and something else, because EMP and blade is almost a game-winning scenario on assault maps especially.
Yeah. Not sure if we're going to let him know. And now you got the primal in here as well. This is getting chaotic. Straight out up to the point, you can get a monster one. Sure4 gonna hit it. 3 go down, or at least 3 get EMP'd. Decay falls, but you've lost Bushway.
Adora needs to live right now. He's gonna nearly have Blizzard. Does get it online, and it doesn't even need to use it. They're able to evict them. Decay has switched. He's going to go onto the mate instead. A late kill onto Void's mech. Hangzhou stabilizes here, and they stabilize in the best way possible because they still have ultimates. They didn't have to throw everything at it. Meanwhile, Los Angeles tried to use their snowball potential, and now switches come in. Void even moving over. Okay.
Okay.
So the Gladiators have both of their support ultimates.
I like it.
Something to work with.
Well, I like it from the Hog because the Hog has the potential to just get that kill, right? The hook, bloom, blast him. That might make the difference here where you can start taking the defenders out who are trying to stall things out if you have that one-shot kill potential.
Big anti. Big anti forces out the sound barrier.
Big sound barrier. Now you get the window pane. Setting up shop. Don't want to let the Gladiators have anywhere to set up on the defense.
Godspeed fearless. He's down to like 0 HP and he goes after Sure4. Sure4 has to get nanoed because of it.
Yeah.
And he gets the kill.
Don't want to play too much though, Sure4. He's gonna back off. just barely squeaks it, gets back to the health pack, and now you got the Blizzard going in here from Adora. Rhea did get frozen. Didn't look like there was quite the follow-up there, though, from the Spark. Oh, but they are going to find one. Decay takes down Adora, but it's traded, sure, for revenge by the hands of Godspeed.
Trade's not good for the offense, but Decay thinks his team has a chance. Tosses to the Blizzard, but Godspeed puts an end to this one. See if they can get any progress here at least. I think the hopes of actually winning the point should be gone. But now Baby's forced to use the Nano Boost. This one's over.
Yeah, it's just, hey, I'm probably going to get that Nano so quick. You know what? Go have some fun. Obliterate them.
So there were two really early nice plays on the Gladiators who were only coming in with their support ultimates, right?
Okay.
So Bebe hits this giant anti-heal. Onto the corner, hits 3 or 4 of them, and that forces out Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier early. Like, they weren't in the position they wanted to be to Sound Barrier that.
Take advantage.
Then, Godspeed at like 25% starts dueling short 4 anyway, and forces out the Nano onto just short 4. Not exactly the ideal nano target. Usually you want to nano a tankier target. We've seen a lot of Orisas get nanoed. So nice early plays force out ultimates from the Gladiators from the Spark, and now they're able to stabilize on defense again. Little over 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, the longest wall wait there. But the Gladiators now, they've managed to trade places onto the point, but they've got the contest, and now you've got the bongos down here for the Sparks. They've got that additional damage. Even though window pane, you will just melt. And that's it. That's why you're seeing Kushui get kills on Decay, etc. So much boosted damage.
You can't even put up an ice wall there. It doesn't matter. That ice wall does have a finite amount of HP, even though it's a great deal of HP. You're able to knock the panels down and get some damage that goes through. Able to hold on to this dragon here. And now Godspeed is exactly where he wants to be.
Oof, timing. I put Roar on notice, but then that's just going to give Big Goose some free ult charge, so, you know.
Well, right now we're in a position again where the Gladiators are going to be going in with only support ultimates, a dragon in tow as well. But they have a huge support ultimate lead. Adora needs to live and get Blizzard.
Godspeed's so good. Just shuts down Sure4. Roar dead as well, and that's just get out of dodge if you're the Gladiators. Run all the way back to spawn.
11 final blows for Godspeed. The damage dealers for the Gladiators have a combined 4 final blows.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth pointing out that Adora's also got 0, but I mean, still, that's the utility. That's just coming in with the utility.
Okay, so combined it's 11 to 4 still.
I know, right? It's still yeah.
All right, now they have to push in the Gladiators against a Blizzard, against a Whole Hog. Very likely Nano should be on, and there's going to be a dragon. Swordforce just going to try to open things up with this dragon. Nice halt into it.
Oh, that was sick. Great pressure thrown in, but some good healing on the side of the Spark. Going to keep everybody healthy and hale. And now it's going to be the Godspeed Dragon. Does the Godspeed Dragon do more? It certainly melts shields. You use the sound barrier. Now you can't tell. Rhea just trying to go to work here with the whole hog, trying to find some squishy targets.
Double Blizzard down.
Yeah, Blizzard's all over the place. Sure4 melted by Godspeed. IDK. And that is going to be, so far, a really solid hold here for the Spark. Not dropping a body hex. They dropped plenty of Gladiators, but the Spark, it has not been snuffed.
This is what we talked about at the beginning of the year. This is why everybody talked about the Hangzhou Spark being a sleeper team before the season started in scrims. You've got individual players, and this is what you need as a team going forward to be successful in the 2-2-2 meta. You need a hard carry, and Godspeed has done it the last couple of matches. This map has been very good for them.
Yeah, super sick. And a map, as you pointed out at the beginning here, not exactly home turf for them.
1 in 5.
1 in 6, I think, but regardless, not exactly a winning map for the Hangzhou Spark, but versus the Gladiators, they've done a fantastic job with the defense on B. No permanent progress made for the Gladiators, and now they get to feel perfectly fine going into the second half here.
Gladiators just got out-damaged. 2 eliminations for Sure4, 2 final blows for Decay, 14 for Godspeed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard carry potential here. That's where you actually get to take over games. Erster level, Godspeed. We're taking a break, and we'll see how the Gladiators fare on the defense.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Oftentimes, we overvalue what a damage is because you and I are in love with damage dealers.
We are.
It's my favorite role in the game, my favorite thing to watch in the game.
Mine as well.
However, Godsby has more final blows than the entire Los Angeles Gladiators team. It is 14-13. The rest of his team's doing fine, right? Rio 7, Gushway 7.
Yeah.
Like, there's some monsters over here on the Spark. But God, the story right now is Godsby's damage is better than the entire damage output of the Los Angeles Gladiators.
He's a monster, Hex, and this is exactly what we were hoping to see. But if you're a Spark fan, for Surefour, I'm waiting to see. Surefour, Decay, they've got it in them. We've seen it from Surefour in the past. On Busan in particular, he looks great.
Yeah.
Now it's about turning that around here and getting this defense on lock. They can definitely shut the door on the Spark.
And maybe it's a symptom of just being on defense and being able to react to the other team. Who knows? You never know until you play two halves out, but that was a half dominated by the man in pink himself. Godsby looking for an angle right now. The rest of his team has rotated far left. So he's trying for the rest of his team to create some chaos over there so that he can find an angle.
Exactly. They're going to give it up. And well, now the thing is, does he play greedy or not? Does he go for that high ground? Looks like he's going to attempt it. Does he get his head taken off? Oh, didn't look like they were in position to punish. Surefour off on the right flank, not watching this high ground.
Yeah, Surefour is trying to keep eyes on both. He's trying to put damage in down center where the rest of the Spark are going through while still watching Godsby. But this is exactly what you want. You want your 5 of your guys playing on the point while your Widow just does whatever they want.
He must know that Surefour's playing from on the high ground right as well now.
Surefour's move now. They get a good hook. Nice
Lantern
wall.
goes down. Decay might be in trouble. Yep, Decay gone, baby. Finds the kill, and now Surefour trying to do the best he can from here on the high ground. Oh, hooked in! Rhea goes fishing, came up with a keeper. That's it. Excellent take here from the Spark. Clinical.
Yes, and the Gladiators will not win Temple of Anubis. They got 0 progress on the second point. The best they can hope for is a draw. 5.5 minutes for the Hangzhou Spark to get 33% on second point, so we go into the half tie.
Can we just let Godsby play snipers? Whether it's Hanzo or Widow, the team just looks completely different when he's on this role.
It's got infra sights. They're going to have window too, so I really like that the Hangzhou Spark is rotating far side. Surefour knows he has to do something. You have to at least pressure, right? You can't just let Godsby do whatever he wants.
Now you got the side. There's the bait. Playing with them. I mean, this is something that Surefour is definitely... Oh, never mind. Surefour is dead, and that's... he bought a bit of time. That's still not making the massive difference he was hoping for because you got Shaz, you got everybody dying on the side of the Gladiators. Now, 3 of them gone through that window. No bongos left here, and single tick of progress is all they need. The Spark, quick and clean, run right through the Los Angeles Gladiators defense.
0 eliminations for the Los Angeles Gladiators defense there. A clinic put on by the Hangzhou Spark on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, as good as it gets. And they do not look amused right now on the side of the Gladiators. Coach is probably having a say with them, having a word. But we will be taking a break, and we'll hear what the halftime crew have to say right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
team up for special attack. Cease your resistance.
The Sparky Gladiators come into this match with identical 16-10 records, and they come into the half with identical scores. It's all even at 1 apiece at the break. What's up, everybody? The crew is back for halftime. We talked about how close this matchup could potentially be, and Brent, you even gave the Los Angeles Gladiators a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of flack.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily a number 2 team.
Beefing on Twitter, beefing on the desk, yeah, all over the place.
It's crazy, man. But what do you think after the first half? Have they proven themselves as that number 2 a little bit more?
No, because the number 2 spot, realistically, there should be a number 1 spot that's definitive right now.
And then everyone else.
And then everyone else.
Yeah.
And then anyone can really take that crown, but right now, no team is really proving it. I mean, we can see, case in point, this match here, so close right now at the half.
It is very close. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the highlights, starting off with Busan, which was pretty much a damage fest between both teams. We saw Shore 4 popping off. We saw pretty much all of the DPS players popping off in this first half.
It started with Decay, who opened this point up really nicely and set up a couple of kills for Shore 4, which he very easily finished off. And the Gladiators have a great understanding of May Reaper. But when it went over to the Widowmaker duel, Shore 4 really couldn't get into it. And Godsby was just dominating this matchup. And he was just getting shot after shot after shot. And really, there was no reply from the other side of the Gladiators, a very one-sided stage. Again, though, when you go back to May Reaper, it seems like the Gladiators have a far better understanding of that comp.
Right. Yeah, it's their bread and butter at this point, and that's going to be the win condition for Gladiators moving forward, is forcing Hangzhou Spark to play into their game of the May Reaper compositions all the time. Because they excel at that kind of composition, and the Hangzhou Spark really just have not got the hang of it. Adora's May needs a bit of work, I think, in terms of the way they're using it. Very reliant, as are a lot of teams right now, on their Widowmaker, their Hangzhou player popping off. And in the place of Hangzhou Spark, it's going to be Godspeed. So it's essentially the tale of what we saw essentially in this map here.
I will say the Gladiators are very good at being able to use ultimates and be able to use abilities to win the neutral game. They get great use out of the Batiste ultimate, the amplification matrix, along with the supercharger and just walls themselves. They're really good at that May Reaper composition. But when we go outside of that, things get a little more squiffy.
Speaking of which, going into Anubis, squishy. I like the choice of words.
Squiffy.
Squiffy.
It's a very British adjective.
All right, well, let's jump into Anubis, because not a squishiness from the side of the LA Gladiators. This is pretty much a steamroll. On the back of Godsby, the Hangzhou Spark looked pretty dominant in this match.
Yeah,
Godsby has been destroyed.
Oh, he's been dominant, yeah. It's been very, very one-sided in the entirety of his play. And this is Hangzhou Spark's win condition. If they can get Godsby onto rolls where he's dominating, like the Hangzhou, like the Widowmaker, they're going to have a fun time of it, because right now they're not really being matched that much.
Gladiators totally lost this on their offense of point B, though. They weren't able to generate a single tick, and they threw away ultimates over and over and over again. So for the Hangzhou Spark, when they were attacking, easy cleanup. They had all the time in the world. But honestly, the biggest story for me has been the difference between these two guys. This is on Hangzhou and Reaper. They've played the same amount on each, but Godsby has just dominated this compared to what Shore 4's been able to put up. And that's something that the Gladiators really need to work on, putting Shore 4 in position, or him being able to hit his shots a little more as well. Because when you've got a beast on the other side, like Godsby, who's absolutely hot, on fire right now, you've got to be able to match him, or shut him down.
Right. Something, one of the two. All right, so this match, of course, as all of our matches today, has playoff implications. Of course, both of these teams in the top 6. But trying to lock their spot in there, and the way the seeding pans out could depend or determine who they face off with. Let's take a look at the standings right now. The Spark definitely need this victory more than the Gladiators.
I would say more than the Gladiators, because you look at their map differential, and that's essentially going to decide things between the 4th and the 6th spot.
Yes.
And Spark are only at +7. So it seems to me to be way more important that the Spark win this match. And if the Gladiators do end up winning, the Spark would drop down into 6th place and play the San Francisco Shock, This is the bracket if the Gladiators were to win this game. And this is not a bracket that looks pretty for the Spark.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
you do not want 6th seed, as weird as that is to say. Honestly, I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at that, going up against the San Francisco Shock, and they're going to be wanting to be, if they were part in the play-in tournament, to play against either the Titans or the Excelsior. You want to be the 7th seed.
Okay, but if you're actually in the play-in tournament, there's way more chance of actually just being eliminated
Yes,
overall.
you could
So
be
nobody
eliminated
really
out.
wants the
Right,
7th.
but that's a good match to have against the Excelsior.
Sure.
You want that one.
I mean, the Gladiators would be perfectly happy playing against the Spitfire as well. This match, actually, even though both teams are probably going to make top 6, is still so important for playoff seeding. And I was thinking maybe the Gladiators would have the edge of the half, but Spark are right in it.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so going into the second half, what are you guys thinking? What needs to happen for the LA Gladiators to kind of bounce back from that map, Anubis? Because it looked like they were a little bit disoriented at the end of that.
I think if this goes to map 5, it's going to be Gladiators taking it.
Okay.
Because they just seem way better and way more comfortable on the control maps, just in terms of running that composition. But outside of that, I mean, Hangzhou Spark, who knows? Realistically, do you know what the maps are?
Don't ask me these questions.
You know the
My mind is full of Godspeed highlights.
Of course, sure.
Possibly. Okay. It's Blizzard World coming up, though, and I think Godspeed will actually have a big performance on there. It's not something where you can really force the May Reaper as much. It's viable, but it's not something where you'd see it the entire time. So, but I totally agree with you. Map 5, Gladiators takes this, so Spark need to win the next 2.
Right, and of course, our 4th map, Route 66. It can go pretty much any way. I would love to see some sniper battles on that map, though. All right, guys, well, we got a whole nother half. It is all tied up. 1-1, serious playoff implications here for both of these teams. We'll see who can come out victorious after the break.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Cease your resistance.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Cease your resistance. Cease your resistance. Team up for special attack. Cease your resistance.
Welcome back from the break. We are live after the halftime here between the Los Angeles Gladiators and the Hangzhou Spark. They seem to think that if this goes the distance, the Gladiators got it in the bag, Hex. Our halftime crew, that is. I think they're insane. I think the Spark are going to trounce.
I mean, Control has been a lot more heavily May Reaper, and I think that is the one place that the Gladiators have an advantage.
Sure.
If the Spark fall for that gambit and decide that they're going to play the game of May Reaper and they don't just run a Hanzo no matter what or a Widow no matter what, because I think you gotta ride the horse that got you here pretty much.
Yeah.
And that horse, if you're a
Stallion.
betting man, it's Godsby right now. He put out an absolute dominant performance. If you're any member of the Gladiators right now, you go into halftime and you try to get your mind right. You try to forget what just happened, because that was a humiliating performance that he just put on them. And then the rest of his team is also playing pretty well. The tank play for Spark has been good. Support play has been good. And we're tied up 1-1 here. Both these teams very likely to get top 6, but the winner of this one guaranteed top 6. Don't have to worry about it much anymore. Also, I think there's something to be said about going into the playoffs as hot as you can and just really establishing yourself as a dominant force, putting the fear of gods in them.
That's
good record here for the Gladiators, 3-0. Spark 3-3-1. So we're gonna get to Blizzard World, and I believe that Joshua Wilkinson was right there. This is a map that you can't necessarily force a team to run the May and Reaper. So Gosby gonna have the chance to run a Hangzhou, to run a Widow if they like. Offensively, we don't know quite yet, but defensively, short forward back on the Hangzhou. Hangzhou May order of the day here for the Gladiators. Big Goose on the Baptiste is actually a really interesting case, because I mentioned yesterday that you're either a damage-dealing Baptiste or a healing Baptiste. Yeah. Big Goose is the closest we have to a balanced Baptiste. He's better than average healing in the league, and he's better than average damage in the league on Baptiste.
a man of many trades and many talents, Goose, but that's why he's been around and he hasn't been collecting stuff in a pot yet. Or at least I guess that pot would be called the bench. But he's still alive and kicking along with Shaz. And you got to give it to him. Quick adaptation, the name of the game here, especially going into stage 4 when so many rules are changed. But now let's get into the thick of things as they are trying to go for the first push. It is the Spark. Nice attempt there. That would have been sick. It is the Spark.
What happened there?
That's
that Orisa went to the moon.
Yeah, it went to the moon, and it was so distracting that I think the Los Angeles Gladiators had no idea what was going on, and that cost him too.
It's like a weird interaction with the Fortify ability sometimes. When you halt an Orisa like that, she went so high in the air. Early kills, though, come from the side of the Spark and Godsby, already nearing 100%. At least go fight, Gladiators.
They were waiting, desperate, but now Roar dropping low. Window goes down. They're able to close off the angle, though. Gushui surviving for now. Gushui still getting the support from his team. There's a Maywall going down as well. The Dragon thrown into the mix, nearly getting the halt off there. That was so close, but we lose Roar for the Los Angeles Gladiators. But Goose and Shaz, yeah, they're so low, they might as well be dead.
Shortford goes on the flank. He gets Bebe, but there's only 3 alive here for the Gladiators. Not going to be enough. The Spark will take first point with relative ease.
It's just more Godsby though, man.
Yeah, he got the opening kills there. Already a Dragon came through for him. Shortford still working his way up to it.
Not the probes. Don't scratch that fine paint. Would the pros be solid gold, or would they be, you know, just
I don't know. You went back to playing Zerg today. I don't want to talk to you.
And then I played 7 CZs in a row and wanted to kill myself. Good times in the StarCraft 2 ladder.
Well, next fight will happen just below the siege tank. Speaking of StarCraft, there's the pylon terrace. Walls up, supercharger down, and the wall's broken very quickly.
Yeah, trying to hold on to that high ground, that siege tank. Kind of a theme here, but Godsby doing his best impersonation, killing everything. Excellent work on his side. The Blizzard went down, and it's just kill after kill coming in for the Spark. They're rolling right through this defense right now. The Gladiators, whatever was told to them in the halftime, right now it's not really panning out.
Just completely out of sorts. Only 2 eliminations so far for the Gladiators defense here. Godsby working his way up to another Dragon. It'll be a second before Jorfor gets his first off.
Oh, there we go. You can't walk out in the open like that and expect to live. Not when you've got Godsby around.
No, against lesser damage dealers, perhaps you can take that chance, but you have to expect 100% accuracy from this Hangzhou right now, because he's earned the respect, right?
He certainly earned ours, Hex. That's the respect that really matters.
He's on my ballot as Rookie of the Year, so I checked yesterday. I thought I had Happy. I had Happy as like my 2nd Rookie of the Year. I had Godspeed on as Rookie of the Year, so.
Okay.
Just right all the time. It's getting tiresome at this point.
I'll savor it. There's the payload. Making its way through. So far, everything's going right for the Spark as well. There's a Dragon right into the hull, just barely off timing, but once again, the Lantern there to save their bacon. The Gladiators going whole hog now.
Gladiators just threw in both of their support ultimates and a whole hog, and they got 0 out of it. Prior to that, the Dragon came in, they got 0 out of that. Not getting the efficiency out of the ultimates that you're used to seeing from this LA Gladiator squad. And now it looks like Boar is out on an island. They will make sure that he does not swim to shore. Godsby takes down Shaz, and it has been completely one-sided for your team in pink.
This is brutal, Hex. This is brutal. 2 final blows for the Gladiators so far on this defense. Godspeed's got 7 final blows to himself alone right now.
Arena's very quiet. You could hear a shield drop right now.
No, the guy's clutching it to his chest right now. He's like, why? What's going on right now? Please. Roar. He's not about to make it stop. Nice attempt there from Surefour to set up a trap with the Dragon, trying to clear that point. Nearly catches him out, but the Spark.
They have a good window right now. They can toss in the Blizzard right now. A big hook, though, onto Bebe. It's exactly what they needed. Spark are committed, though.
Oh, yeah. They've got the Blizzard down. They take down Roar. Void goes next. And just like that, the guys you had contesting the point got annihilated. And the Spark, so quick. They're like Grease Lightning Hex. How much time do they have left in the bank? 333 in the bank.
Pretty good. You're going to need more than 3 eliminations on your defense if you want to stop a team like the Spark. We'll see what the second half of Blizzard World looks like after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Straight into the game we go, Hex, and you just cannot stop talking about how much you love damage.
It makes the game more fun. It's a little easier to understand. He shot him in the head with an arrow. Or I can tell you for 30 seconds about how Zarya's charge mechanic works. I prefer people getting shot in the head with arrows. I find it a more entertaining style of gameplay. I think the community itself agrees with me. Everyone's loving Rollock right now. Everyone's enjoying the game a great deal.
It's a good time.
It was a great choice by the development team.
It's a
Props.
great time.
Props, Papa Jeff and co.
Papa Jeff smiles on the Hex, and he's smiling on the Spark and Godspeed right now. That was an excellent round of offense for the Spark. Godspeed is an absolute terror right now.
Well,
the Gladiators,
yeah.
what can the Gladiators do to turn it around, right? When you have some guy who's just going crazy. I was gonna say something else, but crazy.
You need pick potential. You need pick potential on your side. You gotta start hitting hooks. You gotta start hitting arrows off of those hooks. And if they could just finish kills that they're starting on Gushue, there it is.
There we go. Yeah, that was Gushue. It kind of looked like he didn't know where to go. He was kind of turning all over the place. Not really sure. Maybe Surefour. Doesn't really seem like Godspeed is caring about Surefour so much up on that high ground left. And eventually that cost him because Surefour was just pumping damage into Gushue.
I mean, it might be one of those instances, wow, free take.
Free take, yeah, that's as good as it gets.
It might be one of those instances where it's worth not dealing with Godspeed and focusing on everybody else. Like when a Far Mercy's in the sky and you're like, we have to ignore it and go forward.
Sure.
Oh, this is a nice comeback. But I did want to give credit to everybody else on this team as much as we're gushing about the Hangzhou play here. But there are times where Gushue's been running so low and he's getting pumped into healing. His retreats have been good. The hooks from Rhea have been good. Look, it looks like a one-man show, but that's never the case in Overwatch. Never.
Oh. No, that's not happening. Beautiful. Window down, so much damage. Can't really survive that kind of pressure, no matter how much heals support you're getting. So, Rhea back to spawn. Quick reset here for the Spark. They'll be looking to try and get in on the other side of the pylon terrace, trying to get some defense up. Gladiators, of course, going to be looking to impede that.
Offensively, Gladiators looking just as good as the offense from the Spark, if not even quicker because of that very first take here. The Spark should be able to get back and fight this one out. They have 2 support ultimates to use. Godsby's got the Dragon that will at least stall it out to get his team in position, and Adora, as long as he stays alive, will have the Blizzard.
Get into it, Dragon in, there's the hults, and they manage to divide and split. So nobody goes down on the side of the Spark. Gushue gonna give some good healing over to Bebe, and there we go. Both support ults online now for the Spark. IDK probably gonna throw the window down because you need to get some kind of contest in here quick. Barely stopping him in time. Blizzard onto the point though is going to make life difficult for Gushue, but there is a trancing Bebe, and Bebe trying to body block as well, trying to cut off the damage from hitting his base tank.
Now Bebe not able to get there in time to save his tanks though. Rhea falls first, and counter Blizzard coming in now from Adora. No cleanup really available. This one's getting scrappy, but it's Roar with the final cleanup. And the Gladiators setting a pace very much like the Spark. Part of me feels we're going to see more Blizzard Worlds.
I want to say that they're going faster.
They very well might be,
At this rate, they're going faster than the Spark because they got the free take on the first point. The Gladiators at least put up a little bit of a fight. Godsby kind of quieted down here on the offense as well. He's only added 1 final blow to his tally. So the dominance has to stop at some point, I guess. Sure for, yep, not gonna survive it. Tough break there, Roar, nice Maywall, gonna keep him alive. Lantern thrown in as well, and now we're gonna get the moving window. That's the damage, smart. There's nowhere to go. Look at that, clever use of the angles. Oh, but Bankus, he gets punished. And it's looking like this is where the Spark finally get to put a halt to this payload.
Able to stabilize here, trying to get this last kill, and there's just gonna be a reset. Well, you know.
Nice play there from Roar.
The saying is, when pigs fly, and unfortunately horses can't fly either. There goes the Orisa off the edge. Now the Spark are going to take this aggressive point. You have to be a little bit careful here because there is a flank opportunity on the right-hand side. The offense isn't forced to come in through dead center. But the Spark were just looking for poke there. They're going to back up and play secondary corner.
Okay, well, time to open things up. Beautiful Lantern, much healing, but that is a lot of damage to catch up on. IDK is going bonkers right now in the back line, keeping the Spark healthy, and man, he brings them all back up again. No worries here, and that's another window online now for the Spark. First, we will have the bongos playing the song of Orisa's people.
Supercharger
damage.
Down first.
All the damage. Now Widow pains one on top of the other. Dragon on the flank though. Roar, not expecting that one, gets caught. He's gone, and now do we get the follow-up? Doesn't look like it. Void trying to do the best he can. He gets frozen for his troubles. Sure4 dead, and now Godsby looking to pad the stats.
Well, that was a fight that the Spark had to win because they did commit both of their damage ultimates to it. They ended up using Blizzard secondarily after the Dragon got a decent amount of work done. So Blizzard advantage will be in favor of the Los Angeles Gladiators going towards the next fight. But now we can firmly say that the Gladiators on a slower pace than the Hangzhou Spark.
Oh, yes.
Bebe just has to be mindful of when to use his Transcendence. You want to hold it for Blizzard. Again, it's how you used to hold Transcendence for Graviton Surge.
Indeed. Whoa, whatever happened to IDK there? He just got chunked. Right, Sure4 on the flank, and Shaz and Sure4 working as a duo together. Bebe's out, that's the trance gone, and there's the Blizzard coming in. The follow-up picture perfect here from the Gladiators. They pounce on the opposition. There's not a hope, not a prayer here for the defense. They are gone.
That was the best possible kill Shaz could have gotten right there.
What's going on there? How does that happen? I wish we had, I mean, if we have the replay, we should take a look at it, because if Bebe's playing aggro, trying to peek corners, or did he just get caught?
I mean, he is one of the most aggressive Zenyatta's in the league. Like I said, he leads the league in final blows per 10, second only to Jonek in damage. So he's made a living peeking corners, but that was not the time to do it. You had to have Transcendence there to give your team a shot, and now they don't even touch.
Yeah, so sick. That's Void. Void 100% with the whole hog. Just closes the door, pushes him off the contest. And so the Gladiators, less time means that they will be going on the offense once again when we come back. They've only got 214 in the bank.
It was the only death they could not afford there for the Hangzhou Spark. Bebe needs to know that. The situational awareness has to be high up. You have to know they probably have Blizzard. I'm going to need this. Maybe it wasn't Bebe. Maybe this is Shaz just making a play.
Okay.
He had the Discord, he knew the timing, gets the volley.
Just a volley.
They had to have a play, and Shaz got it for him. We have more Blizzard World in just a second.
back onto things. Whoa, what is going on there? Waffles, looks like a turkey leg.
Well, it's a theme park, so I'm going to need a whole month's paycheck to afford anything on that menu.
But the value
Yeah, this hamburger's only $35. That seems reasonable.
20 bucks for the large Slurpee.
Only 2 minutes for the Gladiators' second attack here on Blizzard World. Probably 2 good attempts here, but neither team needed much to break through on their first offenses during the first go-around.
But did that smack of luck? Did that smack of, everything just aligning perfectly?
No, I think the Gladiators made the right choice of finally just focusing down tanks, because you remember Gushue fell very early in their very first attack.
This is rinse and repeat. And this is where Surefour was the first time around. And we saw Gushue just get chunked by him repeatedly. Doesn't look like it's the same situation this time around.
They also got the Discord on Gushue early too, which helped them take him down quite early. Nice defensive wall goes up.
Yeah, now it's actually forcing Surefour to change up. So they didn't get the same success this time, the Gladiators, and Surefour may be able to catch them completely off guard. They have no idea. Check your corners. This is big. There's Bebe gone down. Big flank coming in here from Surefour, making the plays for his team. It's Bebe down, which means you still got IDK there to pump healing, but Surefour, with the help of Shaz, the deadly duo right now, making all the difference.
Shaz was just playing bait that entire time. Shaz baited Godsby up there to try to deal with them, and he had 2 people come help him out. Shaz had the support of Big Goose come around. Surefour made the rotation there, and without Godsby, there's no damage for Hangzhou to get it done. And it's been Shaz making plays for this Gladiators team when they need it. The volley for last round, the bait play onto Godsby this round. The Gladiators get another point on Blizzard World, 30 seconds to get some more progress.
Yeah, you got to give it to Surefour. He's really stepped up.
Yes, he needed it.
Up to 4 final blows now for him. So Decay's there as well, 9 on his name. So now we're down to the final push though. This is where we get into overtime territory. 15 seconds on the clock for the Gladiators means they pretty much can't leave the payload. They have to win every fight from here on out.
Sparks just waiting. Sparks waiting for Blizzard. Oh!
Yeah, look at that, Void. Unceremoniously just hung up on a sign. This is what happened. Oh, and then it just ejected out. There's the dragon heading on through. We got Shaz with the trance though. That's gonna keep them all healthy. Rhea goes down, but we lose Roar somehow through the healing. Roar dies. That's no bueno here for the Gladiators.
Supercharger's a good ability. It's still 6v5 in favor of the Spark. They try to get some more kills.
I mean, we got the window pane going in here. That's going to make life even more difficult for the Gladiators, and this might very well be it, where the push ends right here at the door. I mean, the Mei wall's going up, trying to cut players off from their healers, from their support line, and it's working out. Bebe. Once again, he doesn't want to get caught by Surefour. Surefour in the back, but Surefour goes down to Rhea, and that's going to be it. So they give up the first point off the back of an excellent flank by Surefour. But the Hangzhou Spark rallied quickly and shut the door on the Gladiators.
Still a very winnable situation for the Los Angeles Gladiators. 3 minutes on the board for the Hangzhou Spark in their second attempt on Blizzard World. They need to get first points and then get it a little bit further than the Gladiators. That's it. That's their win condition. But Blizzard World is a map that a lot of teams have been able to hold very easily. A lot of these hybrid maps. If you think of Hollywood, the amount of times we've seen Hollywood end on first point without going to second. Actually, I can't recall the last time I saw a Hollywood second in the last several days. So, yeah, it's definitely winnable for the Gladiators. This is the match that we were promised. It's living up to expectations. We do have a pause at the moment here, so very likely a technical issue.
Something's up with Gushue. Yeah, sometimes you get the tech issues. They just pop up.
There's
like anything.
There's 12 computers up there. The fact that this game isn't paused every time we cast one is stunning to me.
I mean, it shows the progress of esports as a whole.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. Man, the days of, just terrible delays left and right.
Getting your Skype DDoS.
Oh, I mean, yeah, exactly. And then you just you got to know each other really well. As commentators and as fans, you got to know each other. Because you spent a lot of time talking.
A lot of time just filling the air
just
with,
doing this.
Yeah.
And then finding stuff. I mean, Blizzard maps, to be fair, would be more cool than like CS maps to talk about because there's just more stuff randomly happening on the map. The number of times we talked about benches in CS, like, look at that bench.
I just like the StarCraft fill always ends up being like, who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I feel I know so much about Tasteless Nartosis' childhood.
They're amazing. They still are amazing. Yeah, it's unreal. Those guys, the GOATs.
Greatest of all time, esports casters, perhaps. All right. We're back into it. Whatever ghost in the machine has been exercised.
Exercised? Yeah. I mean, it's good. You got to look out for the fitness,
Right,
want that goat.
I gotta exercise the demons.
Get pumped.
We got some sage up there being burned around, some incense being burned, some Gregorian chants. The computers are fixed. And we will see the Spark offense.
The power of Jeff compels you. Get in there for the shot. Godspeed making the plays. Tries it with the Widow. Now we're on the Hangzhou. He was looking for some greed on the side of the Gladiators, but not quite the case. Gladiators, though, they see where they're coming from. They are ready.
Mirror matches incoming. So this is kind of the same strategy that Spark have employed on several different maps. Send 5 in, let Godspeed go freelance. See if he can get the kills for you.
Go freelance. Name of the game right there. Let the man work. He's a mercenary.
Quiet for the moment. 33 seconds off the board as the set point comes in for the Spark. Far right side.
Once again, Surefour, he's just so good at finding these flanks. No kill this time, but that's once again just going to make the Spark doubt themselves. If this guy keeps wrapping around and finding kills on them, I mean, it's going to force the Spark, force a reaction out of the Spark. They may go a bit earlier than they would have liked. They may not be feeling the comfort. So, once again, Surefour doing everything he can.
Rhea gets himself in a bad spot. He goes for the hook, and he gets hooked himself. 5v6 now. The Spark waiting to find a kill. I put pressure on the point. Gushue gets out another hook from Void. And now is it the time to just bail?
It is.
If you're Hangzhou.
Reset hard, though. Reset hard right now. Just die. I mean, if you can't make it out of harm's way, dying now will just waste so much time on this clock. And the Gladiators know it. They're going to be like, hey, Godspeed. You're not going to be able to solo all of us, buddy.
Are you sure? I'm sure now.
Dude, Shaz has been the great assassin. Oh, did he use it? He did. Bebe, what are you doing, Bebe? Unforced errors here.
That was the least transcendent of transcendences I've ever seen. A little bit late there.
Man.
Luckily, the Spark had plenty of time on their clock, but that is about 2 minutes completely down the drain.
Well, now you've got Decay. You look for the combinations, right? Just like in Ghost before with the grab getting canceled by the trance. You're looking for Decay now. He's thinking, he's rubbing his little, mittened hands together.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the Blizzard. I'm just going to get to throw that in, and there's nothing you can do to stop me from ruining your entire team.
Yeah, on the other side of things, there is a Transcendence available for the Gladiators. Decay's setting up a flanking Blizzard. I don't know if anyone sees him. Godspeed is in the same vicinity. Nope, he's just going to bail. He got spotted.
They know what's up now. Trance thrown out there by Shaz, though. This might balance out. Adora might have a window. Dragon in, no chance to block it. Decay gonna throw the Blizzard in just to try and buy some time. That's Decay going down to the Dragon, but Godspeed gets killed by Void. Now we're all over the place. Void just pinned him to the wall.
I don't know if this is enough for Hangzhou. It is still 3v5. Hangzhou, in theory, could reinforce a little bit quicker, but not too much on this first point here. And they're gonna back up. 30 seconds remain. The saving grace right now for the Hangzhou Spark is that they still have Blizzard.
Yes.
They still have Supercharger. There's a lot of ultimates coming online. They just need to not lose anyone. Ultra important. The Gladiators have shot their bank entirely.
This is it. You got Big Goose at the window. Only thing. Now you're gonna get the Supercharger thrown down. Damage is boosted. Keeping an eye. What's next? There's the Blizzard from Adora. Now you're going to get it. On the other side, the window pane is there. Void goes boom, and this could be the first tick of progress picked up here for the Spark. They might very well roll this into a point itself. Dragon to try and clear it. Gushue holds it in to harm's way, and he doesn't survive it. Surefour once again with the snipe. Just not enough, but we're into overtime. No messing it up here if you're the Spark. You need a body on that payload immediately.
The Blizzard was good from Adora, but what was even better was his Ice Wall. The amplification matrix came down from Big Goose. It was their last best hope to do something on the point. He walled it off completely. They couldn't do anything about it. In fact, he put it behind the matrix so that they couldn't even shoot through the matrix to kill the wall.
Yeah.
It was perfect positioning.
It's really sick. And well, now, this is it. Final fight territory. Who's going to get it? Who is going to take the lead in the series?
Transcendence and Whole Hog, probably a Dragon for the Spark. Whole Hog comes out first, trying to knock him off.
Yep, Whole Hog from Rhea. Does he manage to delay on the side of Void? Oh, this is getting out of hand. They are right on the edge. Roar getting yanked in. Roar down. Shaz goes down as well. And just like that, it might be the Spark getting the job done. They might be taking the lead in this series 2-1 if the kills go their way, and they will, Hex. 2-1 lead for the Hangzhou Spark.
We talked so much about Godspeed, and he deserves it, but Adora, I think, was the all-star for the Hangzhou Spark, especially in their secondary attack. perfect wall placement, got the blizzards at the clutch time, and the Hangzhou Spark will take a 2-1 lead. Winner of this series locks in one of the top 6 seeds going into the playoffs.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris. Pass into the iris.
One more time.
The Vancouver Titans, Stage 1 champions. The Shock have done it, Stage 2 champions. Make some noise for the current holders of the California Cup.
And yes, that is happening next week, Hex. The Kit Kat rivalry weekend going down here in Los Angeles, in downtown. Although I don't believe that is actual footage of Los Angeles downtown because there wasn't any traffic on the freeway.
Yeah.
That's a fantasy world, Hex. They had to edit it or something there. Green screen. I don't know what's going on. But get your tickets. It's going down next week.
Yeah. How time flies. We're already at our final homestand coming up. The rivalry weekend presented by Kit Kat. Gonna be a good one. A lot of good teams. What a slate of games we've got going next week.
It's gonna be nuts.
Both these teams gonna be there. The Valiant are gonna play the Gladiators, so of course that's gonna be sick. Shock play the Titans, and even though they're both locked up, I was actually just talking to some upper management of the Shock, and they're like, no, we're playing hard against the Titans.
Oh no, that's honor on the line.
Yeah.
That's your legacy right there.
Pretty
like
much.
You are establishing that during season 2, you were the top dog.
You got stage 1, we got stage 2. Let's settle it finally, you know, and maybe they'll end up playing again in the playoffs. Who knows? Still a seed in the top 6 on the line. The Los Angeles Gladiators must win Route 66 to push us to a map 5 in which our halftime crew thinks that they would have the advantage going into control. So the Spark want to stop it right here, right now on the offense. The Spark up in the series 2-1 against the Gladiators, and it's been a cracker of a match.
You couldn't have timed that more perfectly, Hex. Had a bit of the whip crack there at the end. Right. There it is. There it is. So, into it we go here. Hangzhou Spark starting on the offense. Gladiators on the defense. 4 minutes on the clock here for the Spark to see how far they can push this payload. As simple as it gets in terms of the rules of the game here. You push the payload and you keep pushing it so long as you got time. And even then, you get 3 points possible here.
It's the early forward hold that every team has been doing, which we talked earlier. Like I think every escort, there's an opportunity to do this forward hold. You don't lose a ton as the defense doing it.
No, you don't, because you get to re-challenge again. Right around the corner. Called in. Nope. Oh, never mind. The Mate Wall just a second too late there from Decay. Big Goose got sniped.
Yeah, the immortality field is keeping everyone else alive, but Big Goose unable to stay in. It got yoinked away. Now Rhea gonna take advantage of this high ground, try to pump it as much damage as possible. Main tank falls. Short4 is able to get Godspeed, but it's not gonna be enough. Once you start getting 1 or 2 kills on the offense, you should be able to crack it open.
Yep, and that's the big one. I think really, you're dropping Roar. You're just, that's where the defense is right.
Short
All right,
four.
fail, get out.
Short4, a one-man wrecking crew, ends up with 4 final blows there. Does stall the card out a little bit longer. Looks like he's coming into his own, and he's got a very early Dragon online.
Like I was saying, Hex, out of all the players on the stage right now, I mean, Godspeed, he's done his work. Short4 is the one who really does take it personal. He's like, no, I am still a top-tier damage, an elite player, and he's looking to prove it right here. He's going to have to take it to Godspeed, though. Godspeed yet to get on the board with the final blow, so Short4 so far looking like he's ahead when his team needs him most. Ult's all coming online here for the Spark, though. Plenty of check marks.
A Dragon doesn't get much. There's a pull in, and that forces an early Transcendence.
Oh, now the perfect Blizzard as well. That's a follow-up and a half. They're not going to be able to hold this. Fantastic work here from the Spark. Working well together off the back of a single ult. Well, they had 2 with the window pane. That's going to be the Gladiators getting completely overwhelmed.
The Transcendence was forced out early because of a hook onto Void. Bebe dropped down to try to use it, and then they just used that to their advantage. They tossed the Blizzard where the Transcendence was not. The burst damage comes through from volleys and Discord orbs. Spark able to roll through first here after a little bit of delay on the train wreck phase of the game.
It's disgusting. They've already got the high ground over here. Bebe is, he's like, guys, what's happening?
Yeah, this high ground is really bad to lose on the defense here because now you need to try to get Godspeed off of it. Only way to really get Godspeed off of it is to send your own Hangzhou up there. An enormous Dragon.
That was so sick. Oh man, and Bebe, I just feel bad for him. He's just on the payload this entire time. What's going on, guys? What's happening?
You having fun up there? He's meditating, man. It's the perfect spot for Zen.
Very, very Zen quiet. He's just can't wait.
Shout out to Wins, tweeting from the payload.
Yeah, tweeting from the payload. Funny enough, he actually came over to my house in Stockholm for a barbecue before I came back from stage 4. Got to chat it up with him for a bit. That was fun. Wins.
Good guy.
Yeah, super nice, super nice. But
a lot of ults coming out from both sides. Gladiators have to use ults to be able to re-engage here.
Getting into it. Whoa, Dragon onto the high ground.
It's one way to try to get him off it. They end up getting Bebe in it.
Into it, though. And just Gladiators holding right now. This is all standard as could be. If Bebe goes down like that, you're down a man. It is still so crucial. Big wall here. Could cut him off. Fedora, what? No way. Is there a follow-up? If there's a follow-up, this could be the biggest clutch play. Decay goes down, but you lose Godspeed. Rhea trying to make it happen with the whole hog. That's Adora with the Blizzards, man. He really believes.
It's 4v5. They go for a late hook there to try to equalize in a 5v5, but right now it's just 2 supports and 2 tanks, and that means you're never really going to get the kills. Still trades happening, though. Rhea gets back into this.
This is getting out of hand. And I mean, you still got Short4 up top. They don't really seem to care about Short4, though, right now. They're much more interested in taking away the people who can actually contest. I mean, Decay's back in here with the Blizzard. You've still got Rhea just hanging out, though, and Decay, that's certainly Decay going down. Short4 is still on high, but look at all this progress. Look at all this payload push.
This has been some ambitious ultimates. Rhea is going to get cleaned up eventually, right?
He gets the Lantern Lantern. What is going on here, Hex? Okay, finally, he's gone. Minute 49.
Is it really worth the 10 meters he got out of it, though? They ended up using a Blizzard and a Transcendence in that, did the Hangzhou Spark. They really thought they could bring it back, and I like the guts on him, right? Guangzhou does this as well, where they lose a couple, and they're like, well, I think we still got it.
Yeah.
I think we still got it. And you know what? Hangzhou was really close to actually almost pulling that one off. A full regroup does come in, though. Rhea almost pulled it off all by his lonesome. Dragon ready to go, and after all those exchanges are said and done, still a pretty even economy. Gladiators will have the advantage when it comes to the support ultimates, though. Godspeed hits a single arrow and it gets Short4 off the high ground. Short4 back up on it, though.
Yeah, no time wasted there for Short4. Gets tots up. He's waiting. He's got that dragon to throw in on the point if they contest, or if there's any kind of play to make here with his team. A halt. We've seen really good coordination with Gushui, but Godspeed, he's just lobbing arrows in, and eventually one of them connects with the head. So that's Decay out. Surefour gone, and this is a successful push just like that here for the Spark. No damage left for the Gladiators. They're just going to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, Surefour was on the flank, and he almost got Godspeed dead to rights when Bebe got him down. Bebe saved Godspeed's life twice there. They get into this one. They will get second point, 2 minutes on the clock. This is usually where the defense can stabilize. The automatic high ground comes in.
Yeah. I'm just having to chuckle, Hex, because everybody runs forward. Bebe kind of started floating forward, and then no, he had to back up. No, nope, you're on the payload. You're on the payload.
Know your role, son. Know your role. Get back there.
No fun allowed.
Someone's got to push the payload.
Let's see it, though. Bold moves.
Blizzard and Dragon. Ready to go for the Spark.
Window here. An opportunity. There's a window pane thrown down. That's big, Goose.
Another great wall. Was that? I couldn't tell what color that wall was.
Decay. That was Decay.
Okay.
It's just dragons. We're just waiting for them to step in here. And there it is. Gods throws it in. There's the halt. Once again, working with Gushui, trying to capitalize, trying to get the combo going for maximum damage. But Lantern goes in, gonna keep everybody healthy, or at least it'll stop them from dying. And well, speaking of that, Godspeed somehow falls at the hands of Decay.
Oh, Rhea and Godspeed were going up on top of the trailer there to look for a flank, and they just got outnumbered. The Gladiators sent 3 up there as opposed to the 2 that the Spark had sent up there. So, Godspeed now onto the Widow to try to close this one out. A couple of support ultimates for the Spark. We've seen already some great progress, though. Even if Spark don't finish this map, this is further than a lot of teams get.
Yeah, this is solid, but I'm just, every time I see Widow on third, I'm just thinking Saya. Ah, there it is. Perfectly done, Surefour. Perfectly done. That's as good as it gets.
Adora.
What? No way! Adora, what are you doing, buddy? That's, I mean, now we're just getting all the ults thrown in. We're just getting all the ults thrown in. 15 seconds.
Disappointed.
It's just, that's tough. They're thinking, okay, is this the final push? Do we have to clutch it out? Can somebody get a kill? I mean, they're just throwing things in.
I mean, I guess in this composition, you don't really have anyone who can get back in touch, but I think they had time to not use ultimates there.
Oh, well, it looks like we did manage to get Gushui just in range. Rhea going for the big plays.
Imagine
a supercharger, but the Blizzard's there.
Imagine if you could have had a Blizzard and a Transcendence.
Yeah, might have made quite a difference instead. It is going to be the Los Angeles Gladiators denying a third point. Shaz definitely pleased with that result. Surefour focused. Void, Roar, and Decay, same thing.
Yeah, so earlier we were talking about how clean the Spark looked. You and I, we might have been on break when we were talking about it. But Route 66 is probably the least clean I've seen them play in quite a bit. When it comes to that second point of really trying to clutch it back, I was okay with that one because they almost pulled it off. But that very last push, I think they just don't understand the timings of who's going to be able to get back because they end up using 2 very, very valuable ultimates for nothing when that fight was over.
This is the tough thing. It's miscommunication, perhaps, that's coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
you're misreading the situation. You're quite.
I think it was misreading the situation because you're not running a Diva, you're not running a Lucio. So the question is like, okay, we even get back or do we have to clutch this out? And at 30 seconds, it's right on the brink. You know, it's about 20 seconds. It's right on the brink of we might have to clutch this or we're gonna be able to get back. Turns out they were able to get back by the thinnest of margins, though. So they were able to get back, and then it would have been nice to have the Transcendence to negate the other Blizzard, which would have been fine. Then they would have their own Blizzard. Maybe you finish that map, but it's really hard to make that decision in the split second where they're at.
At that point, you would have had the Zoom-Yata. That's the thing. If you need somebody to touch the point, you just go with the Zoom-Yata. He's in vuln. He runs in. You don't see Gushui die for free there, trying to touch the point.
Yeah, you could get walled off. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that factor there. Had it been like 40 seconds, then it's just straight up a mistake.
Yeah,
but at 20 seconds, like you're right on the cusp, and it's really hard to make that call early on. So disappointing, but understandable. Still a very good offense for the Hangzhou Spark.
Let's see it. Now, how will the defense look for the Spark? Surefour getting put on notice immediately there.
Well, Surefour has tied up Godspeed in final blows the second half of the match so far. They both have 20 now.
What's going on here? Oh, in the second half of the match. Okay, after halftime, it's not like, what? No, that's not the case.
Yeah, Surefour has brought it back after it being the Godspeed show for a couple maps in a row. Surefour has really stepped it up. And And Short4's always been like this, you know? I don't think Short4 has anything to prove. He's proved it in Overwatch for years.
Yeah. Well, one of the first true blue elites in the game right out there at the beginning. And well, right now, I mean, he's dominating. He's got 12 final blows to Godspeed's 5, so definitely close that gap. But now on the defense, this is the thing. It's that team game. And Rhea, he certainly stepped up. 9 final blows for Rhea.
Rhea's had his best map thus far, and he was the only reason they almost got second point. Pretty much by himself almost got them second point. So he's hitting all the hooks that they need. And now, though, Godspeed has a dragon. Adora nearing a blizzard. They have to back away because the amplification matrix comes up. Trying to shoot down at the train lines there. Both lanterns are knocked down. I'd imagine this dragon comes in at some point.
Oh, yeah. He's just waiting for it. Cracking shields. Making sure they can't get too comfy. And yep, there it is. Right through the wall. Dragon thrown in. There's the halt combo. Roar! Tried. He was so close, but both tanks dead for the Gladiators, just like that.
Short4's on a huge flank. He gets Godspeed. Short4 went through the pack room. Rhea's now looking for him now.
Spotsman, that draws Rhea away. This is Short4 has been the man making the plays right now. Blizzard World, we saw it.
Well, he's been ultra aggressive, and that's the thing. He's taken enormous flanks. A huge sleep on a Short4 means they don't have to worry about him. Now the focus goes to the front line, but they missed the follow-up hook.
Oh, and that's it. Done and dusted. Gladiators will be able to push through, but it took them 2 minutes to break that initial defense. Still going to be a chance here for the Spark to run back in.
Well, they break it, but they don't have to invest a whole lot. Shaz got hooked early on, so he used Transcendence, but that's no big deal. 5 check marks for the side of the Los Angeles Gladiators. Can do whatever they want as far as initiation. You might just fire this dragon in through the corridor if you can get eyes on it, if you can Sonic Arrow this one. Hangzhou kind of behind the 8 ball now.
Dragon on the high ground instead.
Yeah, that's exactly where you're firing through. You know where they are.
Yeah, you're dropping out those tanks. You're making them slow.
You make him use the Matrix. Short4 going aggro again. He gets Godspeed.
Ooh, but Baby trades it 1 for 1. Both Hanzo's out of this. Still, Supercharger there for the Gladiators, so they're doing a bit of damage, but the Spark can get back out, and they are able to contest. 1:15 on the clock here now. This is starting to get a bit dangerous for the Los Angeles Gladiators. Still got decays. They still have decay. That can make all the difference. And if you're going to pick off Ushui as well, this is looking great. There's the Blizzard. Here, take this.
And there's no Transcendence to be able to do anything about it. There's a Nano, but that's it. Adora needs to live. Can Adora drop the Blizzard? He does not. Los Angeles Gladiators will grab this checkpoint.
But they got it. First point on the board now for the Gladiators. 3 minutes 18. And, well, just Pepe, revenge for his fallen mates. It's not as bad as Stagger, though, because, I mean, Shaz is going to respawn right there, so...
No, but the issue is that Hangzhou is not able to get out here on time, and so it's very much like the Hangzhou offense where the Gladiators are going to be able to grab this high ground for free.
Big thing is they don't have a dragon, but they've got Void with the whole hog. He can drop down and be a nuisance. Let's see. Don't quite have the same tools, but they are in position. Nice hook. Rhea gonna survive it though.
Good hooks from both sides. Now high ground is seated.
Cease your resistance.
Nice wall. Mortality field up.
Just checking right now, because it is going to come down to who overextends on the side of the Spark. And yep, Godspeed, he was climbing that wall, bold as brass, out in the open, and Big Goose kicks things off. So we will have the kill, and we will have the man advantage. That's going to delay the Dragon as well here for the Spark on the defense.
As when you're running these compositions, there's almost no one to deal with the Hanzo on the high ground except for the other Hanzo to jump up. A hook comes in, Rhea down. A battle in the back line as Baby gets the best of Short4, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah, there you go, Baby. Done with Short4 shenanigans. Gushue is gone, and they are going to get the second point picked up for the Gladiators. And now, 3 minutes 20. Gladiators, bit of a ways to go still, but they can definitely take us to a map 5. And once again, top 6 on the line here.
3 minutes to go. Gladiators have plenty to be able to work with. The Dragon can open things up. And then the whole hog can just close out the map for him. The Spark, though, nearing a lot of ultimates of their own. And this is where defense is stabilized, generally.
Well, there it is, once again, showing that they can do it too. Godspeed, though, the one to find the kill on Roar. It's Bebe who goes down on that side of things. And the Spark, Adora, so close. Has to hang in there, trying to play it safe.
I think the big difference in
Never
when
mind.
we've gotten to this fourth map has been the aggression of the damage dealers for the Gladiators. You've got Decay going on flanks. You've got Shore4 coming from all sorts of different angles. They're not just standing and fighting and letting the Spark dictate the pace to them. They're actively taking the fight to the Spark.
Yeah, that's what you can really give. Great play there from Rhea. Trading it all the way back and forth. Bebe going to use the trance to keep him up. Gushwei did get frozen, but he'll get some good support from his team. Decay, though, going to survive for a little while longer, and this is all over the place. Now Shaz is the one to pull the trigger on the trance. 2 minutes on the clock for the Gladiators, though, means that it's not the end of days for them.
And now the trance down, it means that Blizzard could get a whole lot done. Godsby also has a dragon, so great position. Rhea with the finishing blows.
Yeah.
He just used his whole hog, about 50% now back at it.
And I think you pointed it out, Hex, is that what we're seeing is a stronger performance from Shore4 actually here on this fourth map. He's doing better on the flanks. He's coming up with the goods on the flanks. He's constantly getting kills on the flanks.
18
and
final
throwing
blows.
everything out of whack here for the Hangzhou Spark.
18 final blows. He is by far and away the leader in final blows in the server. For reference, Godsby has 8, Adora has 6.
Yeah. Just a super solid play here from Shore4. And yeah, once again, look at this. They have no idea. They have absolutely no idea. Oh, he misses the shot! Oh, and he doesn't even get saved. Brutal. And now, well, now, yeah, exactly. You're gonna have Rhea out there hunting for him. Shore4, now we know you're there. But still, that draws Rhea away from the front line. Shaz gonna die to the dragon, though. The Lantern getting focused, and that's Shore4 falling next. Los Angeles Gladiators, you're on a minute.
The question is, did they overcommit with that? They used Dragon and got a kill. They used Blizzard to get more kills. They will push them all the way back. The big game now is Shore4 and Decay forcing out Transcendence with one of the ultimates and using the other to clean up, because there's Dragon and Blizzard on the field. Bebe cannot die. He cannot use his Transcendence early.
Oh, that's not gonna help things though. Roar dies. That's the Dragon used. Decay now has the Blizzard, but that hasn't forced the ultimate out of Bebe. He's got the Trance.
It's time to back now. Last attempt for the Gladiators to lock in a top 6 spot.
Oh, or the Spark, if they hold, they're the ones who connected. Top 6, this is what it's all about right now on the Spark. What's the play? All right, instant wall goes down. Chargers on both sides. And just ults on board here for the Gladiators. They're looking a bit better about it.
Dragon almost up. Beautiful Transcendence. Gonna save Rhea for a second, but the Amp comes up.
Yeah, Amp is there. Gushwei dead as well. There's the window pane. Now the counter dragon right on through, but there will be the cooldowns here to keep the Gladiators up. They're playing it right in the end. It was looking dicey for a moment, but the Los Angeles Gladiators coming up when it matters most. Nobody there to contest. We're going to a map 5, Hex.
Patience pays off again for the Gladiators as they use their ultimates more efficiently. The last second Transcendence from Shaz pushes them the last mile in Route 66. And this is what we were promised. What a matchup we have here, Semler.
Yep. This is what we were hoping for, and I'm glad we're ending it on Shore4 because he has dominated. 20 final blows. He ends the 4th map. Incredible performance from Shore4, and we'll see if he can keep it up going into the 5th and final map of the series.
Everyone, stay out of my way. Team up for special attack. 不洗澡。
Yeah, this is it. The Gladiators in the very end, they did a better job of handling their ultimates, but you also got to give it to Sure4. Standout performance from him, a star-level performance from him. It nets the Gladiators the 4th map, and it means that we're going to a map 5.
And it was they just started dictating the pace. You just saw Short4 and Decay both going for flanks, and you never knew where they were coming from. And then the moment that the Spark turn around and they're dealing with Short4, then he's like, okay, I'm leaving. And then Decay's wrapping around another side, and then they just kind of kept this rotation, and the Spark could never really get on top of it. Some really good ult usage at the end. Again, that's why the Gladiators won their very first map. The ultimate usage was simply better. They win the 4th map based on the back of that one as well. And now we're going to map 5, and we're headed to the Ilios. And it does not seem that the Spark would be super happy on this one because it's a map that you can kind of force a Reaper and a Mei meta. It has not been great for them, but very even records for both these teams. 2 and 3 for the Los Angeles Gladiators, 4 and 5 for the Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah. I would be just overjoyed to see Godspeed just change it up and play something he wants to play and not go for the Reaper.
The Reaper Mei has been their weakest, in my opinion, even when we've seen them struggle against Dallas at certain times. Both of these teams have lost control to Dallas, so that's not much to go on. And we will see a Pharah Mercy in the sky, Reaper Mei on the ground for the Gladiators.
Oh, buddy. Well, Sure4 goes straight for the Widow, and Sure4 kills Godspeed immediately. Tough break. Real tough break. He gets rezzed. That's just putting him on notice real quick there. And Sure4 just going to stay on the Widow too. So it's going to force Godspeed to play around these angles. He's going to have to use the Watchtower, the lighthouse there, to cut off the angles from Sure4. There is a way to play far even if there's a Widow on the field. It just means that Godspeed's got to have eyes in the back of his head.
Big Boop comes in. Oh no, a counter sleep. I don't know if they can finish it though. They got Bebe very low. They're going to finish it. Big Goose was slept going for that Big Boop. But the first to fall is Godspeed again. 2 down for the Spark. A big pull from Gushue.
2 into the depths, and they are not giving up on this one yet. Void, it's just D.Va on D.Va, some of the slowest fighting ever. IDK still gets the res off though. Godspeed back into the fight. IDK gonna pay for it with his life, but Bebe's still here to crank out the heals. Still a chance for the Hangzhou Spark to lock it down.
Gushue MVP candidate comes up huge when they need it there.
The Goose!
Pays for it though. First control goes over to the Spark. They're just chasing Godspeed around over here. He gets healing from a distance though. He's getting pocketed by Bebe.
Oh man, and this barrier, it could not have lasted longer. That was sick. A little bit of room here to contest for free. And now it's all just about contesting here. Name of the game for the Spark. Boom, damage going in. Adora just pummeled Roar. Oh, he's looking for more as well. Bit awkward. Now he's kind of stuck, but he's got the Meteor Strike, and he's just going for it. Why not? No fear in this man.
Godspeed's literally just been on top of Short4 the entire time, daring him to hit a shot. There it is.
Why'd you have to do that, Hex?
Sorry, Godspeed. Sorry.
The Godspeed.
They're gonna try to get this res. Maybe? No.
Whoa. That's not what you want to see coming at you. That's awkward. It's like he's tiny, and then he's big really quick, and you're dead. Man, Adora right now, there's been so much talk about Godspeed. Adora's decided, hey, it's my time to shine here. I'm gonna have to come up with it. 2 kills though for the Spark. That's not gonna help things, and they are going to eventually lose this fight as the Gladiators manage to stabilize. Still, so much percentage on the board.
They have a Tracer here. All they're doing right now is gonna stall it out. That's all they care about. This is a page right out of Guangzhou's book.
Here's the recall. This is unreal. Oh man, IDK even gets Void. That's going to be it though, and they will get the flip, but you're right to mention the charge. That's exactly the name here. You're giving up kills, but the entire time you're gaining percentage. 75% is where they ended.
And there was going to be a switch from Godsby anyway. You don't really want to challenge Short4 trying to come in on the fire. Godsby is going to go to the Sombra, so the Hack Fist meta.
Look at this, they're mind readers. They're going after each other, Hex. Short4 on the Sombra as well. So the guy who's really the one throwing it out there,
Primal Rage.
the risk is going to be Adora. He's got Meteor. Oh, he will have it in a moment, but Bebe. Is this? Yes! Unbelievable!
No boosters.
That's such a rare thing to see. It's like trying to put, you know, the Winston in the murder hole. He just never goes because he's always got the jump pack going.
Yeah. Full-on retreat now from the Spark as they will go back to spawn and back to the drawing board, as it were. Godsby on the Reaper, Adora on the Mei.
They've caved, Tech.
They have caved to the meta. They can get a good set point here, though, knowing that the Primal Rage is used. Supercharger, set the point. Try to get some kills.
Get on it. You've got the boost for the spot healing if you need it, or just to let, you know, Godsby go to work, it seems. Godsby just gonna go ahead and blast Roar. Gets the follow-up on Decay as well. Straight drive-by, two of them gone. He's looking for more. Onto the high ground.
It's actually the time that I really like the Reaper, because Reaper's that hard counter to the Winston.
Yeah.
Rissa's got the Fortify, she's got the new, she's got a shield. When you can find the Winston without a jump, he's just gonna be dead. And the Spark will flip it back. Final fight territory here as the Spark will charge up. The Gladiator sitting at 80%. Rhea's got self-destruct, IDK's got Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier and self-destruct also on board for the Gladiators.
Well, we've got a changed. Roar is now on the Orisa. So no Winston in play here anymore. Godsby gonna have to go and hunt for his targets. They're not gonna come to him for free.
Blizzard up.
Straight onto the point they go. Yep, waiting for it. He sees Short4 coming. Short4 no Blossom either, but that's a Sound Barrier thrown in. Adora now deciding time to throw that Blizzard in. Roar nearly chucked into oblivion, but it's Big Goose who goes up with the bomb. Roar out in the open, dies, and the Spark are setting themselves up. Shaz refusing to say die, though. Finds a kill on Godsby. That's a lot of damage lost for the side of the Hangzhou Spark, and it might be just enough here for the Los Angeles Gladiators to stagger it out.
The Spark have gone all in. They used everything that they have, and now they're going to get Godsby back with the Death Blossom Short4. So close to death, but he's still alive right now. The Nano Diva comes in.
Yeah, I like this from Rhea, man. He's got the mobility to hunt down the Goose. We've lost Goose Shui here for the Spark.
It's just the hamster.
That's it. You can't even believe it.
I do think it goes back to that very first fight and the very first control that they have. Gushue doesn't hit that halt on the two people after they just lost two. They're in a world of hurt that allows them to take first control. Godsby stays super aggressive, and then they start a little bit of the stagger, not quite the charge level of stagger, but they bring back heroes just to touch the point. They get it up to 75%. Win another fight, and the Spark play it perfectly. This is that halt I was talking about. They just lost two people immediately, and then you get rid of Decay and Core. That's all the walls, that's all the shields, that's everything you needed. What a halt.
Such a sick one. And now I'm curious, because this is a Widow map. Are we gonna see him go for it? Short4 and Godsby, the fight to settle all fights. Godsby's gonna go.
On it.
Oh, Short4's going for the Reaper. All right, then, let's see. Does this pay off for Godsby? He's going to have that element, and yep, he's going to be able to start putting some shots through. Nothing really here for the Gladiators to work with to stop him. And Short4's committing to it. He's running to the point now. So, each team has their strategy. Very curious.
Oh, gets him!
The kills go in the way of the Spark to open things up, and that is the end of that fight. 6-on-3, full-on action, and Short4, I mean, we got to see him change it up to the Widow. Come on.
Well, Big Goose is going to switch. He's going to go over. Short4 goes to the Hangzhou instead.
Okay, wholesale changes. I mean, you're going to have the Discord orbs with Shaz. Shaz has also been very aggressive, and he's worked really well.
Switches.
And yeah, there we go. Short4 going to change over to the Widow. Now we're going to get the fight. This is what we were hoping for. Want to see it. And now it's just waiting until the Widows spot each other. Yep. Now they know Godsby's made aware. He's not alone on the map anymore. He's not the only guy with the scope.
This is so tense.
There it is. Short4 again. Bebe, what are you doing, buddy?
Well, they get the hook. Are not able to get that kill, though. Adora, yeah.
Oh man, the main fight is going south. The Gladiators getting obliterated.
Short four in trouble, frozen, eliminated. The door comes up huge when they need it most. He's gonna have Blizzard. There's gonna be a whole hog, 50% and counting up for the Hangzhou Spark to try to lock in a top 6 seed in the Overwatch League 2019 playoffs.
40% away. And Godspeed's about to get inside as well. That's only gonna make things easier for him in the duel. It's gonna make it so difficult for the Gladiators to push in for free as well.
Godspeed's gonna back up. He's gonna wait till they get a little closer before he hits Infrasight. He might even think Short 4 is closer to Infrasight than Short 4 actually is. Void out of it!
How does Void go down there?
Sadly is how he went down.
Now you gotta use it. Oh, the headshot as well. Godspeed. When he needed it.
This is it.
This is it. This is the final push.
Gladiators have to back up, maybe, but this is rough. They can only halfway retreat here. 90% for the Spark.
Oh, there's the halt in. There's the halt in, and Roar is gone as well. The Orisa picked off and just going out with a whimper now. The Gladiators, they were looking brutal. They fought back so well on Route 66, but Void goes down. You got Goose on the point trying to be the hero. Not meant to be. Now it's Shaz, body blocked as well, but he eventually gets onto the point. He's got the transfer, it'll wear off. He dies instantly. Nobody here left to touch it for the Gladiators, and it's the Spark. They did it in 5 Hex. And they will collect the 6th spot in the playoffs.
This looks like a very complete team right now because yes, Godspeed's able to carry a map, but then you get Rhea playing big. You get Guchue playing big. Adora, when he needed it most, comes up huge with 9 final blows on that map. Baby and IDK have been rock solid for this team when no one else was playing well. So this is a scary, scary team that is peaking at the right time. Valor to the Vanquish, the Gladiators look good, they look dangerous, but the Spark have locked in a top 6 seed. They don't have to play in, they're gonna be in your playoffs.
Yes, they are in the playoffs now, and that has been them turning it around here. It was looking grim. They looked like they were doubting themselves, like they couldn't quite get their hands on the meta to figure out what they needed to do. But here towards the end, when it mattered most.
What a roller coaster of a season for the Hangzhou Spark. They came out, they looked good, and then they looked terrible, and then they looked good again, and then they looked terrible. And now they're getting hot at the right time. And
when it matters most.
This starting 6 they've been rolling with have looked really good.
Now, let's go ahead and hand it over to Emily now. We have a winner's interview. She's ready.
Thank you, Summer and Hex. I'm here back at it again with Guchue. Let's hear it again for Guchue and the Hangzhou Spark. Now, congratulations, you guys have locked up your top 6 spot. So how important was it for the Spark to avoid play-ins? 首先，Guchue，恭喜你们锁定了前6名。你现在有什么感受呢？是不是终于可以喘了一口气？
很高兴能进前6名，而且我们季后赛现在可以保证至少8强了。
Really excited to have locked in our spot in the top 6, and I feel like now we can probably say that we're in the top 8. Now, this has been a pretty inconsistent stage for the Spark, and you guys are looking cleaner for every match. Do you think that people have been underestimating the Spark? 这个阶段的表现呢，有高有低。你觉得大家有没有低估了杭州闪电？
我觉得主要是我们一开始版本变化没有适应过来，然后后面才开始找到属于自己队伍的风格，然后慢慢就大家都变厉害起来了，磨合越来越好了。
At first, we had trouble adjusting to this new meta, but slowly we found our footing in this new stage, and we're getting stronger. That's it from me, you guys, and I think you better bow down. Back to you, Summer and Hex.
Indeed, we are going to bow down in face of the performance of the Spark. You see them right back up at the top, rightful spot in the top 6. 4th position now for the Spark in the season standings.
One more match for the Spark, but they cannot fall out of the top 6. The Gladiators also only one more match to go. That'll be next week, our final match of the day at the Kit Kat Rivalry Weekend against the Valiants.
Yeah.
So that's the Battle of LA all over again, and Valiant still trying to get into the playoffs. Whew, a lot of good Overwatch left to be played. Yes, we've got playoffs kind of locked in, but there's still people fighting for spots here.
Yeah, it looks great, but that's going to be it as far as the standings are concerned. Now, our owned by HP player of the match, Godspeed, and I mean, at the very end, from through and through, he maybe dropped off a little bit on Route 66.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the series, I mean, He was a monster.
I mean, he put the fear in him right here, right? This was the first stage that he played the Widow, and he just absolutely crushed. And that forces the Gladiators to do something about it. So the Gladiators can't just run Reaper and Mei the entire time. They're forced to put Short 4 on it. Short 4, to his credit, bounced back greatly in the second half of this match. But then on Ruins, it was all Godspeed. He was getting it done. He played a bar a little bit, very adjustable, made the Reaper switch at the right time that I thought was good for them. But you could give it to a lot of the guys on the Spark, a collective effort. But when it came to win games by yourself, Godspeed won Temple of Anubis by himself, pretty much. He crushed that map. He's great. The Spark looked like they're peaking at the right time. Man, they looked clean today.
Yeah, not as clean, though, as Stratus with the glasses. What a play from him. And, well, it is going to be it as far as the matches are concerned, guys, but we're not done with this show. We've got the Watchpoint post-show coming up after this on the desk. It's going to be Malik. It's going to be Josh. It's going to be Brent. There'll be Zoe. And there'll be many jokes because today, apparently, it is National Joke Day. So, you know, fitting for the desk. We'll be right back after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.